Let's unbox the Xiaomi Mi 17 Ultra and take a first look at what's inside. Wow, right away there's a transparent, hard protective case, which is a really nice touch. You also get a 100-watt charging brick. Nice. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Mickey from TechMakey. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. Okay, here it is. Wow, this color is white, and honestly, white looks really good here. This is the Ultra from the previous generation, and I feel like this new model keeps that familiar Ultra design language, but it's not as extreme this time. Instead of the camera module feeling like it's completely separate from the phone, this design feels more balanced, and I think more people will actually like it. This white finish also looks even brighter than the white on the Mi 17 Pro Max, and it has a subtle pearlescent effect. The back panel itself is very clean and minimal, with no extra patterns or elements, just the Xiaomi and Ultra logos. The biggest change on the back is definitely the camera setup, which has gone from 4 cameras down to 3. The large lens at the top is a periscope telephoto camera with continuous optical zoom, featuring a 200 megapixel sensor that's 1.4 inches in size. Below that is the 50 megapixel 1-inch main camera with an f1.67 aperture. On the right side, you've got the Zen 5 ultra-wide lens. The most noticeable hardware difference compared to the previous generation is that Xiaomi has moved from 2 telephoto lenses to a single periscope telephoto lens with continuous optical zoom. Around the front, we now have a flat display with straight focused bezels, which is completely different from the previous generation, and honestly, it looks great. If you've already seen the 17 Pro Max, you'll notice that the screen size and bezel width are exactly the same, and even the phone's length and width match. The way the bezels feel in hand is almost identical too. The two main differences are that the Xiaomi 17 Ultra weighs 223.4 grams and measures 8.29 millimeters thick. That thickness is more than 1 millimeter thinner than the previous Ultra, and you can really feel it, especially around the camera module, which is slimmer and doesn't stick out nearly as much. Another small but interesting change is the volume buttons, which are now 2 separate circular buttons. Wow, that instantly reminded me of the iPhone 4. The power button has also been moved slightly higher and is a bit shorter. Overall, the build quality feels like a clear upgrade compared to the previous generation. Sometimes a simpler design really does feel more premium. So the big question is continuous optical zoom actually useful? And has the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's camera really improved? First of all, the default focal length range on the 17 Ultra is from 3.2x to 4.3x, which is where the continuous optical zoom operates. When you tap once at 3.2x, you get 4 default focal lengths: 75mm, 85mm, 90mm, and 100mm. Another interesting detail is that these 4 focal lengths correspond to 4 different apertures, which are f2.39, f2.68, f2.78, and f2.96. In this setup, the 3.2x optical zoom on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra already shows a noticeable improvement in resolution compared to the previous generation's 3x optical zoom. When you move to 85mm, the text and glossy areas on the previous generation's screens start to show obvious smearing. The iPhone behaves the same way here, with visible blur that reduces clarity. At 90mm, you see the same issue again, with a lack of sharpness. In contrast, the 17 Ultra stays much clearer at both of these focal lengths, with better resolution and richer glossiness, and it maintains a very consistent look compared to its 3x zoom. Then, when you reach 100mm and 4.3x, which matches the focal length of the previous generation, you'll notice that the resolution suddenly improves and the image becomes much clearer. Even so, there's still a gap when compared directly to the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Across all 4 focal lengths, the 17 Ultra keeps image quality, resolution, and color very consistent. The key difference is that on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, even with its 2 telephoto lenses, the focal lengths between 3x and 4.3x are still achieved through cropping, which results in lower clarity. The iPhone does improve slightly over its predecessor, mainly because it uses a 4x optical zoom, but from 1x to 2x and then to 4x, it relies heavily on cropping, so lower resolution and blur are basically unavoidable. The Xiaomi 17 Ultra's continuous optical zoom and large sensor really show their strengths at night as well. In this scene with enough ambient light, the Xiaomi is shooting at 6.8x, while the iPhone is at 8x. Let me tell you, iPhones tend to overexpose, which flattens the image and removes depth. The Xiaomi shot, on the other hand, immediately shows a sense of depth. You can clearly see the layering between the lanterns at the top and the door below. If you zoom in slightly and look at the text details on the door, the difference becomes even more obvious. The iPhone's telephoto camera really feels like it hasn't been upgraded much at all, with textures that just look like flat earth and wood. The real surprise comes in the next scene, which is an even more extreme low-light environment. Here, the Xiaomi image is brighter, cleaner, and more pure overall. The illuminated sign is reproduced very accurately, while the iPhone keeps shifting toward a blue tone when capturing bright signage, and it's not very flattering. At 10x zoom, or around 230 millimeters, the edges of the pointer in the Xiaomi image are still sharp, and it even captures fine scratches in the text. That's honestly impressive. The previous generation still delivers decent resolution, but the iPhone continues to show serious screen smearing. One more detail worth pointing out is how smooth the continuous optical zoom is between 75 millimeters and 100 millimeters. I selected 4 focal lengths at 79 millimeters, 87 millimeters, and 96 millimeters, and you can see how consistent the clock's timescale and framing remain within the same scene compared to the default focal lengths. Even when switching to 200 megapixel mode, the phone still defaults to these same 4 continuous optical zoom focal lengths. Portrait mode also supports continuous optical zoom, and at this focal length, the iPhone's rendering of faces actually looks quite charming. Across all 4 focal lengths on the 17 Ultra, facial textures and skin details stay incredibly consistent. Because of that, I honestly think continuous optical zoom makes even more sense for portrait photography. Using a medium telephoto lens for portraits naturally helps the subject stand out more, right? The problem with many phones that rely on telephoto or medium telephoto lenses, even ones with 2 separate telephoto cameras, is that they still crop in the middle. That lack of a smooth transition hurts resolution in those in-between focal lengths, which is why portraits often end up looking soft or blurry. With continuous optical zoom covering the mid to long telephoto range, it's basically like having 4 true optical lenses working together. So what about video performance? Does having 4 continuous optical focal lengths actually help there too? Under soft lighting conditions, the first 3 focal lengths on both the iPhone and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra show obvious smearing, although the iPhone's 4-eye zoom is a bit clearer than the 15 Ultra. The 17 Ultra, though, looks noticeably better. Whether you're looking at text, markings, or the silver body of a clock, it delivers higher resolution and cleaner detail. You'll also quickly notice a clear difference in color between Xiaomi and iPhone in both photos and videos, which brings us to another major improvement: color reproduction. Night scenes are especially revealing here. The color difference between the previous generation and the 17 Ultra is very obvious. In this scene, soft light shines onto a green building, and the 17 Ultra recreates that atmosphere really well. On the 15 Ultra, not only does the building appear green, but the ground also picks up an unwanted green tint. The 17 Ultra, on the other hand, accurately captures both the soft light source and the diffused, gentle tones of the scene. Even though the main camera aperture changed slightly from f1.63 to f1.67, this difference is honestly negligible. It barely affects final image detail, and in some situations, the 17 Ultra actually pulls out more shadow detail than before. The dual-layer night scene mode is where things get even more interesting. This particular scene contains 2 distinct color temperatures: soft lighting on the left and cooler tones on the right. Within the cool-colored light sign on the right, there are several similar but subtly different hues. The 17 Ultra accurately captures the color of the rooftop on the left, the cat-shaped building, and the soft light reflecting onto the building below. The 15 Ultra leans too cool overall, while the iPhone sits somewhere in between. But look closely at the light blue and dark blue tones in the sign on the right. The way the iPhone captures them is honestly kind of shocking. The 15 Ultra performs better, but the colors are still off. The 17 Ultra manages to reproduce almost all of the different colors in that light sign, including the faint bluish tones, and it also controls highlights much better. Another nice touch is in the video interface of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. When you tap on it, several preset shooting scenes appear. The first one is LoFic, which is a high dynamic range mode that supports 4K at 60 frames per second. When the flame lights up, pause for a moment and take a look. Thanks to the higher dynamic range of the 17 Ultra, it captures far more detail in the scene. On the iPhone, the center of the flame loses detail and turns overexposed, even white. This really shows the advantage of a high dynamic range main camera when shooting video, as it preserves much more information. In the camera interface, tapping on the small lens icon also reveals several HDR scene presets, like fireworks, flames, and stage lighting. Even in something like a teppanyaki flame shot, the iPhone still blows out the center of the flame, while Xiaomi clearly retains the inner details. This is exactly where the HDR main camera shows its strength. So beyond continuous optical zoom, I think the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's improved color accuracy and consistency stand out as another major upgrade. When it comes to performance, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 delivers exactly what you'd expect. In a 30-minute native benchmark test, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra averaged 59.8 frames per second with an average power draw of 10.6 watts. The highest temperature recorded was 41.2 degrees Celsius on the front and 42.4 degrees on the back. Compared to the 15 Ultra, it not only runs smoother and more consistently, but it also consumes less power and generates less heat, which is exactly what you'd hope for. Battery life is another big step forward. The 17 Ultra packs a 6,800 mAh battery, which is 800 mAh larger than the previous generation. In real-world testing, it still had 73% battery remaining after 3 hours and 45% left after 5 hours of use. With a larger battery, the improved endurance is no surprise. You also get 90-watt wired charging, 50-watt wireless charging, and support for the 90-watt PPS universal protocol. Overall, my impression of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is that it's no longer just an oversized phone focused purely on camera performance. Instead, it feels like a well-rounded, ultra-large flagship that benefits from being a first mover in several key areas. So what do you think about this ultra-large model? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.